The first post office in Forbes was established on the Lachlan goldfields when the area was known as Black Ridge. With 1,500 miners on the diggings, a mail service was established in 1861, with the office operating out of a rented premise and operated by one overworked mail clerk. As the population increased to about 28,000 people because of new gold discoveries, it became obvious that Forbes, as it was known by then, needed a postmaster in the town. On the 17th of April 1862, Hayward Aitkins was appointed in the position on a salary of £200 per annum, with an assistant postmaster and 2 stamp sellers. By 1877, the town needed a new post office, and this was to be built on the same site as the original building. Our current heritage-listed building was completed in 1881. There was a problem, however, as due to bureaucracy and cost-cutting, the new building had a clock tower, but no clock. The story of how the locals in Forbes finally got their clock in 1885 is both humorous and an example of good old bush ingenuity. Call into the local museum or family history group to get the details. The Telegraph was also connected to Forbes in 1862, and an official Post and Telegraph Office opened in October 1863. In 1900, with the progression of technology, the telephone exchange was opened with 29 lines. A public phone was also added in 1905. Between 1900 and 1913, a single-storey addition, including a telephone exchange, were added to the southern side. Those of you who have lived in the bush will probably have fond, or other, memories of the old manual exchange and party lines, where a number of subscribers were on the one telephone line and they could all listen in. Let's have a look and a listen to one of the telephone operators from that era, Margaret Simmons, who is pictured second from the right in this early photograph. Margaret, tell me what would happen if I rang from our old number of Forbes 50. What would be the procedure?
You'd pick up the back number, put the plug in the jack, push that forward and talk to them.
Number, please?
Yes, you say, number, please. And then whatever number you wanted, so it was double that one, 9, put it in there, put that forward and pull this key forward and ring them.
And you said you loved it?
I did. I worked there for about 8 years, I think, about that. Then left because married women couldn't work in government jobs in those times.
Forbes is renowned for its characters, and one of those was Joe Honberg, bus driver, rural mailman, member of the Forbes Town Band, founding member of the Forbes Historical Society, and strongly civic-minded. Joe Honberg was highly respected in Forbes. Joe was also known as the walking postman after making the journey on foot from Sydney to Forbes as part of the 1961 Forbes centenary celebrations. Newspaper reports have him leaving Sydney in early March, arriving in Bathurst on the 17th of March 1961 and receiving a tumultuous welcome in Forbes on March the 21st, 1961. Joe then received an invitation from newspapers in Hong Kong to participate in the Hong Kong Walkathon. Joe's son, Steve Honberg, also spent his early days as a telegram boy, another of those lost occupations. Here is Steve talking about those early days at the Forbes Post Office.
Worked 6 days a week. We worked with the Morse code. You had a little pouch at the side and you put the telegram in that when it came through and off you go. There was no teleprinters like there are now. That was written out by a person with very good handwriting that was listening to the Morse code here, and he'd write out, not borrow, but with a pen and ink. Away we went, and we had a good time there, great time. Push bike, And they bought them off the army for 2 and 6 each, and they were the heaviest push bikes I've ever seen in my life.
Even though the exterior is the same, today's post office is completely different to that of a bygone era. Technology and marketing have taken over, and with the decline of letters, parcels now play a large part in daily business. But one thing has not changed, and that is the friendly, professional staff that have always been part of our postal service. Why don't you pop in and have a look at the wonderful interior of the building and say good day to everyone while you're there?